It's Monday, Parshas Nusoi, Tes Sivan Tufshin Pai Vuv. My name is Gershy Schwarcz and I'm here to be your host with the news of the last, I don't know how long, because it's been Shavuos, it's been Yom Tov. Oh, what a Yom Tov it's been, Baruch Hashem. Let's get right to it.
Your daily report of the news of the last 24 hours, powered by Yiddish24, provided to you by The Click.
So, it's Monday, May 25th, 2026. A guy walks up to the White House, Motzei Yom Tov, Motzei Shabbos, Motzei Yom Tov, with a gun and starts shooting. Trump was inside. The shooter had been arrested twice before. That same thing. Apparently the third time is not such a charm. Now he's dead. Just hours ago, Trump went on Truth Social and demanded that 6 more countries, Muslim countries, including Saudi Arabia, Qatar and Pakistan, recognize the state of Israel. He used the word mandatory, and then he posted a picture showing the map of Iran with the American flag spreading all over it, calling it the United States of the Middle East. President Trump came to Rockland County this Yom Tov on Friday. The first sitting president in the U.S. to visit in 50 years this county. He landed in a helicopter at Rockland Community College, and a lot of Yidden and lots of people got to make the brucha, Shechulek Mechvoide Lebuz Avadam, which is not it's a very rare thing to do, obviously. As an Englishman, I know I did it when I saw the king, the queen, and OpenAI in England, yeah? And OpenAI is about to go public at $850 billion, and Trump posted a picture of Biden and Obama on the front page of the Times as the 2 worst presidents in the history of the United States of America. And that and more on Edge today. But first, let's not forget, every family has that garage, that basement, right, where things just keep piling up. And then sickness comes and you need the staple gun. But where is it? It's under some bike tire behind 3 boxes next to that broken chair from 2017. So 20 minutes later, everyone's frustrated. Nothing's found. Ma benechusim, ma bedag. Of course, that's why you need Storage Pro. It's a chiddush. Why it's a chiddush? Because you don't buy random shelving. You don't hire 3 different guys. One company, one solution. Storage Pro. They come in and simply, what they do is they build custom shelving, install lighting, paint if needed, and actually organize your stuff onto the new system. Yes, your Zeichel Choben turned into a space that finally makes sense. So, next time you need something, you can actually find it. Storage Pro, or Storage Like a Pro. Serving Muncie and Monroe only, so you can call 929-560-9936. Again, the number is 929-560-9936. You can visit the website on storagepro.ny.com or email info@storagepro.ny.com. That's, again, 929-560-99636. All right, now you know how to keep your garages and storage places neat because you hired Storage Pro. Multiple gunshots were fired, we can get to the news, just outside the White House last Shabbos. And yes, President Donald J. Trump was inside at the time. Now what happened? Around 6:15 in the evening, a shooter walked up to the checkpoint near the White House complex. He tried to force his way into the White House while firing multiple shots from a handgun he had. Obviously, Secret Service agents shot back at him and hit him. The gunman was taken to a nearby hospital but later died from his gun wounds. A person standing nearby was also hit and in serious condition now. A day before this happened, President Trump announced that he was staying in Washington for talks about ending the Iran war. He even skipped his son's wedding in the Bahamas to do this. Now, when the gunfire happened, obviously the White House was placed on a lockdown until around 6:50 in the evening. The Secret Service already knew the gunman because he was arrested last year for doing exactly the same thing. He is a 21-year-old Nasir Best. He had already tried to illegally enter the White House several times before. According to Trump, the shooter had a violent history and a possible obsession with the White House. Trump also wrote in Truth Social, quote, "Thank you to our great Secret Service and law enforcement for the swift and professional action taken this evening against the gunman near the White House." All right, let's talk about Iran. Another ceasefire extension for the US-Iran war. Now, listen to this. It's a ceasefire extension. Don't get me wrong, it's not a deal signed or whatever it is. Or it is a deal signed. While the 2 countries are negotiating, they agreed on a 60-day pause in fighting again. But they're getting somewhere. And this time, we hope, I guess, probably means probably. The deal hasn't been fully accepted or negotiated, but the latest proposal aims to stop the fighting everywhere, including Lebanon. It would also reopen the Strait of Hormuz to cargo ships for free without paying a $2 million toll, like they just decided to do with Oman. If you've been watching on Edge, you are already aware how important this is, because One, because the strait is a very important waterway used to deliver oil around the world, like 20% of the world's oil, right? Two, because Iran earned money from passing ships before, and they called this the Tehran toll booth. But that is in exchange for something. The US will not punish Iran, sanction Iran, and will give back $20 billion of Iran's frozen money. The two countries will also negotiate on Iran's nuclear program starting on June 5th in Pakistan. This is the part that Trump will not easily give up. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said, quote, President Trump and I agreed that any final agreement with Iran must be to eliminate the nuclear danger. Because a deal is getting closer, oil prices have also dropped to the lowest point in 2 weeks. Ismail Baghaei, Iran's foreign ministry spokesperson, announced, it is correct to say that we have reached a conclusion on a large portion of the issues under this discussion. But to say that this means the signing of an agreement is imminent, no one can make such a claim. In short, he is saying that there is hope, but don't expect it too much. On Truth Social, Trump posted a picture online showing a bomb under a fighter jet. And it says the words, thank you for your attention to this matter. But it seems like the deal only sounds good in theory. In reality, many people are nervous about it. US Senators Ted Cruz and Mike Pompeo said the deal makes Iran stronger and lets the beast continue with its evil plans. Netanyahu and other Israeli officials say that the deal ignores Iran's missile and terror groups. In Lebanon, Hezbollah, the leader of Hezbollah, Naim Qasem, refuses to talk directly with Israel and said his group will not give up its weapons. This morning, Trump posted again on Truth Social. It's also about the deal. The deal needs to be, basically, part of that is Hezbollah giving up its weapons. This morning, Trump posted again on Truth Social about Iran. He said the talks are, quote, proceeding nicely, but this time he added the big new demand. Trump wants 6 more Muslim countries to officially recognize the State of Israel as part of his Iran deal. Now they are Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Pakistan, Turkey, Egypt, and Jordan. He used the word mandatory. He said Saudi Arabia and Qatar should sign first, the rest should follow. Now, Trump even said that if Iran signs this agreement, Iran should also join the Abraham Accords and recognize Israel. Along with this post, Trump shared an old picture from 2016 showing pallets of cash that President Obama sent to Iran. His message, my deal will be the opposite of Obama's. And Trump warned, quote, it will only be a great deal for all or no deal at all. Back to the battlefront, basically means to say, and shooting, but bigger and stronger than before. And nobody wants that. These are his words on his post this morning at 8 a.m. somewhere. About the people criticizing this decision, Trump said, these people should go home and rest. They do nothing but create division and loss. In other words, they are losers. The deal with Iran will either be a great and meaningful one or there will be no deal. And now Trump said, in the meantime, the naval blockade on the Strait of Hormuz will stay. That's until a final deal is signed in ink. In fact, just yesterday, there was another fight between American Navy forces and an Iranian oil ship. The Navy boarded the ship and forced it to turn around. Iran is not obeying because it says that almost the entire strait belongs to them. But Trump told his team not to rush. He said that the US has plenty of time, of course, because he keeps extending ceasefires. In a video interview, he said, let's put it this way. You were in Vietnam 19 years ago. And 19 years straight, World War II was 4 years. I'm in for 3 months, and much of it has been ceasefire and 2 wars. Venezuela and here. We lost 13 people. In other wars, you lost hundreds of thousands of people. We took over Venezuela. We essentially took over Iran, he says. That actually matches his post. Let's listen to
what? You lost hundreds of thousands of soldiers in these various wars. In 2 wars, Venezuela, where we lost nobody, and here, we lost 13 people. Now, 13 people is 13 too much, but we lost 13 people. In other wars, you lost hundreds of thousands of people. So, people don't like it when you say, oh, do you know you've lost 13? We've lost in 2 major wars. We took over Venezuela. We essentially...
Anyway, you get the point. On his long patience, Trump said, I never get tired. What I like to do is, if I can save war by waiting a couple of days, so I can save people by being killed by waiting a couple of days. I think it's a great thing to do, he says. Okay, let's go to the next story. The military has received information about a surprise Iranian attack now on Israel and the Gulf states over Yom Tov. A source says that Israel and the United States checked their recent operations against threats from Iran. Their meetings included plans to stop missiles and get better technology updates. During the war, the US has already used up about 200 THAAD missiles to defend Israel, if you know already. 200. THAAD stands for the words, if you don't know already, I know you just keep on saying the word THAAD. THAAD stands for Terminal High Altitude Area Defense. These weapons shoot down attacks from the sky. That is double the number of defense missiles Israel uses, the 200. At Joint Base Andrews, Trump said that the wider fight is almost over, but Trump and Israeli leaders are keeping the military option open. In the US, Congress will take another vote regarding the country's war with Iran. The vote forces a president to stop war after 60 days without congressional approval. Last week, the vote ended in a tie of 212. So everyone will vote again this coming Thursday. 20 lawmakers missed the last vote, obviously. 7 Democrats and 13 Republicans were missing during the last round of voting. They are expected to be present on Thursday to change the results. We don't know because they've tried it 7 or 8 or 9 times already. Speaking of the Democrats, Trump insulted and praised them at the same time. He wrote on Truth Social, "The Democrats have bad policy and bad candidates. Other than that, they're doing quite well," he said. He also greeted them a happy Memorial Day. You know, today's Memorial Day, the 25th. Happy Memorial Day to all, including the Democrats who disrespect our military and all of the tremendous success that it had over the last year. God bless those that have made the ultimate sacrifice. I love you all," he ends his post. Oil prices dropped today. That happened after reports that the United States and Iran may be getting closer to a peace deal. A pieces deal. Brent crude oil, which is raw oil, fell by 4.55%. It dropped to $98.83 a barrel. US West Texas Intermediate crude oil also fell. It dropped 4.73% to $92.03 a barrel. Both oil prices hit their lowest levels since May 7th earlier in the day. In other parts of the world, Great Britain loosened rules on buying Russian oil to lower costs, which is really sanctioned. A large oil group known as OPEC Plus agreed to pump more oil by about 188,000 barrels per day. Oil isn't the only thing that can drop when you drop your weight, right? Your health improves significantly. Now, how do you do that? You can actually maintain your weight by Kosher Skinny Shot. Kosher Skinny Shot, well, as you all know already, is the place to be. The place to sign up with 845-456-8924. That's Kosher Skinny Shot. It's very important to remember that. If you want, you could also enter to win a very cool raffle by calling my number 845-671-1775, pressing 5 and leaving your name and number very clearly with the name of Kosher Skinny Shot on Edge. Use words. Just say these words. Don't say anything else. Just your name, telephone number, Kosher Skinny Shot on Edge. You can start with either. Leave a message. Only a message will help. Nothing else will help. You'll enter to win 1 free month with Kosher Skinny Shot. Trump called the leaders of Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Pakistan, Turkey, Egypt, Jordan, and Bahrain. He asked them to support the peace agreement concerning Iran. He also asked them to join the Abraham Accords to officially recognize Israel. The leaders said they support peace, but they did not promise to recognize Israel yet. Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman publicly gave his opinion about this before, and he said he will not make a deal without a clear plan for a Palestinian state. Trump posted on Truth Social, an agreement has been largely negotiated, subject to finalization between the United States and America. The Islamic Republic of Iran and various other countries are also as listed. Now, the Haredi political parties are ready to bring down the Israeli government over Gzeira Sagias, which is the draft of the military of Bukhrim and Yeshiva. They are strictly against the decree, obviously, as the Gzeira to draft Yeshiva Bukhrim into the Israeli military, because Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has not passed a law to stop this draft. The Degel HaTorah party says they are done waiting. The party gave this message to Netanyahu on Sunday night. And Harav Lander, which was last night, Harav Lander, who guides the party, said Netanyahu is just playing a political game and may not actually want a solution. Now, the coalition is falling apart. Just this week, the Knesset passed a preliminary vote to dissolve itself. This sets the stage for early elections, which are expected on September 15th. Last week, former Israeli military chief Gadi Eisenkot obviously said... sorry, I don't know what the picture means. Last week, former Israeli military chief Gadi Eisenkot had a private meeting with Degel HaTorah leader Moshe Gafni. They met right after Harav Lander talked about breaking up the right-wing political bloc. Meanwhile, financial pressure is on the Haredi public is also growing. On Sunday, Israel's land authority started a strict new rule following the order from the High Court. Anyone who does not follow the Gias, basically, and report to the military is now banned from joining the government housing lotteries. The court told the government to take away state help to force young men to settle their paperwork with Israeli military. Verstehst? In other words, they want them to come to the military, otherwise they're not getting their money. 10 Israeli soldiers were hurt in southern Lebanon yesterday. That was a terrible story. Attacks, drones, and other things were launched by Hezbollah on them. Colonel Meir Biderman, the leader of the 401st Brigade, was badly hurt by an exploding drone. About 3 other soldiers were also hurt, while a 19-year-old soldier was killed. His name was Sergeant Nehorai Laser from Elat. Shem Yekadumai. Israeli ground troops are moving deeper into Lebanon. Soldiers are moving into the center of Kadatha, which is basically 12 kilometers from the border. Israeli fighter jets obviously bombed targets in Lebanon as well. They hit Hezbollah weapon factories that were hidden under an old clinic in Tyre, it's called. Jets also bombed a hospital in Tebnin. To fight back, obviously, Hezbollah launched 19 attacks and announced a new suicide drone called Ababil. The US blocked the bank accounts of 9 people who helped the Hezbollah terrorists, basically, to weaken the Lebanese government. The targets included Lebanese police and Congress members. The US State Department is offering $10 million for information. They want to hurt terror groups' money networks. For anyone can give them information about their networks. Alright, 14-year-old Esther, we spoke about this already several times before Yom Tov, still hasn't been found. It's been 10 days so far, since she went missing last on Friday night. The search before Shvius. The search is still growing urgently in Toronto, where her parents are still pleading for help to bring her home. $25,000 reward is now being offered for information. Volunteers are replacing missing person posters across the city. Esther, as the description, to know what she looks like, brown hair, and she was last seen wearing a green shirt, they say, and she's on the autism spectrum and responds to the name Esty or Sylvia. Toronto police have set up a dedicated phone line and a new website to gather tips. If you have any information, please call 647-478-2230. 2230. All right, Trump comes to Rockland, my friends, and he's here. This past Friday, the first day of Shvius, President Donald J. Trump came to Rockland County. It was the first time a sitting president visited Rockland almost in 50 years. The last one was President Gerald Ford in 1976. Erev Yom Tov, word spread through the community, and Yidden were reminded to welcome and make the brucha shechulik v'chvoid lebus of Adam. This was one of the rare opportunities this brucha can be bichlal made. Yes. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Marine One landed at Rockland Community College in Southern, and Trump stepped out, walked out into the hall there, and Rockland Community College, and a packed crowd of thousands were already waiting for him. On the pictures, you can see some Hamshe Chevra who made it inside as well. You can see them clearly in Trump's background, 2 people wearing a Trump Make America Great Again hat. Trump was there to support Congressman Mike Lawler as well, obviously, as you can imagine. Lawler is running for a 3rd term in New York's 17th district. It is one of the most watched races in the whole entire country. Lawler is a Republican, but his district has 75,000 more Democrats than Republicans. So, Lawler spoke for only a few minutes. Not even. I actually heard the speech. The shortest speech, and it was on purpose, obviously. Lawler is trying to keep some distance from Trump, not like in a bad way, but he wants to keep it healthy. The president's approval rating, obviously, according to some negative papers and negative polls, see him at 37% right now. Because of the war, I guess. Many voters in the district don't like the war and don't like the high prices in his district, obviously. So Lawler wants Trump's endorsement, but he doesn't want to be glued to Trump on stage, as you can imagine. He thanked the president, said a few short words, and stepped back. Then Trump took the stage and a microphone and spoke for over an hour. The first big topic was salt. He said that why do people have to pay so much money in Rockland County, especially, by the way, I can tell you that. The taxes are so high. Spoke about the interest rates that Hopefully, interest rates will be lowered to be able to allow people to afford housing. That stands for SALT stands for state and local tax. SALT. New Yorkers pay very high state and local taxes, obviously. For years now, the federal government only let them deduct $10,000 for those taxes on their tax returns, as you can imagine. It's a lot of money. Trump's new tax law raised the cap for $40,000. For a Rockland County family with high property taxes, that is real money back in their pockets, and people thanked him. Trump also praised Lawler for pushing this change in Congress. He called Lawler, quote, a pain, but in a good way, because he basically drove him crazy to pass this law. Next, Trump talked about voter ID. He wants every voter in America to show a photo ID and prove he's a citizen, obviously, or she's a citizen, at all the polls. A bill called Save America Act has already passed the House. The full name is Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act. It is stuck in the Senate because Democrats are obviously blocking it. Trump said if Congress doesn't pass this bill, he will sign it as an executive order to force voter ID right now before the midterm elections in November. In simple words, every American voter will need to show photo ID and proof that they are a U.S. citizen before even voting. Trump also brought up healthcare. He pointed out to a program he announced earlier this year called the Great Healthcare Plan. Part of it is a website called Trump RX. On Trump RX, Americans can buy prescription drugs straight from the drug companies at much lower prices. Also, he spoke about Trump accounts. And also Trump said that the savings come, basically the savings, he spoke about the Healthcare Act. For example, fertility medicine dropped down from $300 to $16 to $200 to $22 only and 50 cents. Asthma inhaler dropped from $500 and to about $200. Trump said that savings come from his most favored nation rule. That means American patients pay the same low prices that people pay in other countries for this medicine. In a special moment for Rockland, Trump announced that Welles Crowther will receive the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Now, what it means is Crowther was from Nyack. He was 24 years old on September 11th, which the Yahrzeit is coming now, 25th Yahrzeit. He worked on the 104th floor of the South Tower of the World Trade Center. When the building was hit, Crowther covered his face with a red bandana and led people down the stairs to safety. He saved at least a dozen lives, and he went right back upstairs again to help more people and never came out again. He is known as the man in the red bandana, and now he will get the country's highest civilian honor. His mother spoke, obviously. Now, obviously speaking, protesters interrupted Trump several times. One woman raised a banner about the war in Ukraine. Someone in the crowds called him other names and stuff outside, ripped it from her hands, and security had to remove her. Other protesters were also pulled out of the building by booing and screaming, and Trump was saying, don't hurt him, we don't want bad publicity. Outside, more protesters yelled during the whole event. But inside, thousands of supporters cheered and waved American flags and fight, 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 and USA, and all these other things that they sang, and stayed until the very end. And then Trump said he's not going to dance and not going to tell a story, but he did tell the story that his wife told him not to tell. And he did dance, even though his wife told him not to dance. He said it clearly. He says, my wife asked me not to dance, make my dance moves, but he did do it anyway. It was Schwarcz. It was a Yom Tov Schwarcz in Rockland that will never, that Monsey, Rockland County, will never forget for a very long time. David Beton, a Breslover Chassidische couple from Modi'in Elit, had their second set of quadruplets at Sheva Medical Center. The pregnancy happened naturally, and it was very, very rare. About 3 years ago, the couple also had quadruplets, but sadly 2 of the babies passed away. The parents spoke about their difficult journey. They shared messages of emunah and betuchen and gratitude to Hashem. What an interesting story this is. There was another attack against Yidden in London, my friends. A German national terrorist, hater, attacked 2 Yidden outside Beis Gavriel Shul in Hendon. The incident sadly happened during Yom Tov Schwarcz. 25-year-old Daniel Nigzamir went to a group of Yidden, that's his name, and started hitting 2 people. One victim had cuts and bruises, broken glasses after being punched. Other Yidden stopped the man until police arrived. Thankfully, both victims are now recovering. Don't know more details, maybe tomorrow we'll know more. US officials arrested an Iraqi man linked to the IRGC. He planned to kill Yidden and also wanted to kill the US First Lady, and also, obviously, the daughter of and the wife of Jared Kushner, Ivanka Trump, because she's Jewish. The suspect, Mohammed Bakr Saeed Dawood al-Saidi, whatever his name is, was a 32-year-old commander in Iraq's Kataib Hezbollah group. He is also a member of Iran's IRGC. U.S. officials arrested and charged him last week for recent attacks on Yidden in Europe and also North America. Reports say the plan was connected to a revenge for the 2020 killing of Iranian commander Qassem Soleimani. The suspect was later sent to the United States from Turkey, extradited, obviously, to be arrested here and charged here in the United States. President Trump and Secretary of State Marco Rubio are discussing military action in Cuba. The U.S. also officially charged former Cuban President Raúl Castro with murder. President Trump compared the situation to Venezuela and Iran. He said he will likely be the one to take action. Secretary Rubio called Cuba a danger and that a peace deal is unlikely. In 1996, Cuban officials shot down 2 planes owned by Brothers to the Rescue. That's what they called. 3 Americans and 1 United States resident were killed. 94-year-old Raúl Castro was Cuba's military leader at the time. Cuba's foreign minister accused Rubio of spreading lies. He said Rubio is only trying to start another war. But Trump said that the United States only wants to free Cuba. He says they don't even need to attack. Trump explained, quote, "No, there won't be an escalation. I don't think there needs to be one. Look, the place is falling apart anyway. It's a mess. And they've lost control, basically." Sort of. 50,000 people are still being evacuated from their homes in Orange County, California, because of a chemical leak. A broken tank was found with brand new cracks. It also reached 100 degrees, which is the highest number on the thermometer. They said the new crack might actually help because it could lower the pressure and stop an explosion. Volunteers from San Diego drove up to help families who had to leave their homes, but officials told people that the government is not paying for their hotel rooms. A sinkhole was discovered just off a runway at LaGuardia Airport in Queens during Memorial Day. Airport workers closed runway 422 to repair the damage and check nearby ground areas for safety. Many flights were delayed, cancelled because of the closure. Officials later reopened the runway after repairs, but travelers were told to expect continued delays because of that. 3 people are dead in New Mexico after being exposed to an unknown substance. First responders who arrived at the scene also had to be treated for exposure to dangerous chemicals. Police have not confirmed what the substance is or how victims came into contact with it. A dangerous materials team is still investigating the area. A teenager was killed while subway surfing in the Williamsburg Bridge in New York City. The teen was riding on top of the moving train when it was struck and killed. The dangerous trend of subway surfing has led to multiple deaths already across the city in recent months. Officials are again warning people to stay inside the train cars and not do these stunts. Never. The people who watched it was terrible. Russia fired hundreds of drones and missiles at Ukraine's capital city in Kiev yesterday. It was one of the biggest attacks, yet again, since the war started. We keep on saying this. Russia said it used a weapon called the Oreshink. It's a very, very fast missile that flies more than 10 times the speed of a sound. According to the Kremlin, it is a state-of-the-art weapon that cannot be intercepted or stopped. 4 people were killed and dozens of others were hurt in the strike. Putin said that Oreshnik's destructive elements can reach a temperature close to the sun. As a result, everything in the explosion breaks up and essentially turns into dust. Terrible. Spanish police beat up anti-Israeli protesters from the global Summit flotilla. Now Israel wants answers. This happened on Saturday as Bilbao at the Bilbao airport in Spain, in España. Police arrested 4 activists from the flotilla group returning from Turkey. Last week, with Magaikas, they hit them hard. Last week, the Global Summit Flotilla tried to break the Gaza naval blockade to support Hamas. So, the Israeli Navy stopped the boats and arrested them. As for the people who were arrested on the boats, they were already let go. This includes citizens of South Korea and Turkey. As Turkish members were on their way home, Spanish officers arrested them at the airport. The police dragged them across the floor and hit them with sticks. A video of the incident came out, and this caused 2,000 people to march in the streets of Bilbao, which is in Spain. Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Saar told his office to call the Spain's acting ambassador for a meeting on May 24th, yesterday. At the meeting, Israeli Ambassador Yossi Armani accused Spain of having a double standard. He said Spain supported these protesters to pressure Israel about the naval blockade in Gaza. But now Spanish police are using heavy force against those same people. Armani noted that Israel dealt with much worse behavior from hundreds of flotilla members without hitting them like that. Armani asked why Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez has not yet spoken out against his own police. He also asked why Spain is doing nothing about one of the protesters, Saif Abu Kashk. That man is tied to Hamas and was put on American sanctions just last week. Israeli National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir was also criticized for making fun of the flotilla members when they caught them. A video showed Ben-Gvir teasing handcuffed activists at Israel's Ashdod port. Ambassador Huckabee said that Ben-Gvir embarrassed his country. Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar said that Ben-Gvir ruined Israel's good name. Well, the already ruined name. Foreign Ministry officials called Ben-Gvir a rodef. France, Italy and Turkey also criticized this video. And now with this new video emerging, obviously what will happen? SpaceX's Starship rocket launched from Texas on Friday. The rocket later landed in the Indian Ocean and exploded as planned. This was the biggest and newest version of Starship. NASA hopes to use it in the future to land astronauts on the moon. OpenAI may soon announce an initial public offering, or IPO, as early as September 2026. This means the company could sell shares on the stock market. OpenAI is famous for making ChatGPT. The company has grown very, very fast and is now worth about $852 billion. It also recently won an important court case against Elon Musk, which helped remove a problem before the IPO plans. Experts say this could become one of the biggest IPOs in history. However, OpenAI spends a lot of money and faces strong competition from companies like Google, Gemini and Anthropic, which is Claude. And that's it, our news roundup for today. But before we do that, obviously, let's talk about Storage Pros again. And let's talk about Kosher Skinny Shot again. Don't forget, Kosher Skinny Shot is there for you. You can enter a 1-month free raffle giveaway on 845-456-8924. But you can enter the raffle on 845-671-1775. I don't want to confuse you with the number. This is my number. 845-671-1775. Enter to win a free month. Press number 5. Leave your name and number. And obviously, Kosher Skinny Shot on Edge. All right. And then let's not forget about Protobite. Protobite 347-354-1237. And then you have YS Capital Group, which is 718-831-2168 for all your loans and no closing costs. Ask them about that. You can lock in your rates if you mention on Edge now. And as well, Arrive Express 845-622-1111, 845-254-1111. My friends, have yourselves a wonderful day. We'll see each other, Bez Hashem Yisborach, tomorrow.
Daily report of the news of the last 24 hours, powered by Yiddish24, provided to you by The Click.